Welcome, it's Carol Ann here, and I'm delighted that we have Dawn Campbell with us today from the International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. And this is a very important little message that I would like you all to listen to if you're thinking about becoming a life coach, or you're currently on my life coaching course, or you've graduated, because we're basically talking about the importance of accreditation as a professional life coach. And I know, and anyone will know that I'm passionate about life coaching and also life coaches being super successful as business people and to really stand out in the market and to be considered as career professionals as they are in America. So there's a lot of confusion around what is accreditation. People say it's an unregulated industry out there. Anyone can set themselves up as a coach, and I guess that is true. But in order to stand out, you need to have some kind of authoritative accreditation behind you to add gravitas and seriousness to your offer as a coach. So, as I say, lots of confusion around what it actually means. Do you need it? Is it necessary? What is the right kind of accreditation? So I'm delighted that Dawn's here to shine a light and some clarity onto this subject. So thank you for talking with us, Dawn. So can you tell me really, what is the difference between accreditation versus certification, please?
Yeah. Hello, Caroline. Thanks for inviting me onto this recording. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a lot of mixed messages about when a student qualifies and graduates from a training academy. Are they accredited? Are they certified? So in its simplest terms, certification is something that your students are going to get from you at the end of their course. Yeah. Accreditation is one stage higher than certification. So as an accreditation authority, what we're doing is we're accrediting what we like to think are best-in-class practitioners. So they've been properly trained, and that means they've come through an accredited course like yours, Caroline. They are insured, particularly in countries like the UK where insurance is available. It's not the case all around the world, obviously. And that they've had all their experience validated, their certifications verified, and that's all pulled together with an accreditation. I kind of call it the cherry on the cake. So a typical example would be when a student is thinking about, well, what's the right course for me, whether that's at a university or a training provider, they want to pick the very best course that's available. So that's one of the reasons why they'll have chosen your course, Caroline. It's the same, the universities, it's a very competitive market. Especially in the international world, students are very selective where they train. So they will leave university with a degree, but it's the university that had that course accredited. So that's the fundamental difference. When you are certified, you can put that you are certified, that you've attended a accredited course on your CV and on social media, but you are not personally accredited until you've been through that process yourself. And that involves various things that I'm going to talk about in a moment.
Okay, well, that way we want to hear what that actually means then, and why a coach might need that.
So firstly, if we look at why your accreditation status matters, I suppose the key reason, Caroline, is that it creates this massive differentiator between you and a non-accredited coach. And as you said, in the UK, it's a very crowded market. In fact, I read some statistics that said there's 130,000 people calling themselves coaches in the UK. Now, some of them will have been properly trained, some will be insured, some of them are accredited with us, and a lot of people will have gone on a lovely weekend course and got a diploma. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best in class practitioners. So from a client's point of view, and we strongly encourage clients to protect themselves, their well-being. After all, coaches are working with clients' mental well-being as well as other areas of their life, finances, personal goals, business goals, and so on, but also to protect their hard-earned income. So whether you're hiring a colonic therapist or a hypnotherapist or a hairdresser or a driving instructor or an accountant, You don't pick somebody without doing some due diligence. You look at the national register, you see who's registered, who's at the top of their tree, and you pick the best that you can afford. And there's no reason why it should be any different when you hire a coach. People think just because you're talking to somebody and it's the business of having a conversation, oh, your hairdresser or a friend or anybody or somebody who calls themselves a coach, you know, can help. But if you're not properly trained, you can do untold damage. So the first important reason I would say, not just for you, but for your clients, is that all-important differentiator. It's about the fact that you've adhered to an industry set of professional standards and that you've signed a professional code of conduct and you follow the standards and ethics laid out by that industry. As you say, it's a largely unregulated market. So it's important that you belong to a body that meets those standards. In fact, we're the only body that's approved by the British Ombudsman, the IAPC&M. So ultimately, it proves you care about supporting and protecting your clients' welfare.
Which is so important because, as you say, we're dealing with people's lives, their well-being here, and you don't just want someone who's a paid-for friend to offer advice, which of course we don't do. We coach people, we don't offer advice. So it's a very dangerous ground out there if you're not properly regulated and you haven't gone through some degree of stringent monitoring and processing and agreements and understanding the ethics of coaching. You know, it really does add that lovely sense of security for your potential clients.
What I'd also add to that, Caroline, is that there are a lot of coaches out there. You know, if statistics are to be believed, 130,000 people to choose from, but not all of them are equipped to deal with what comes out of Pandora's box. So it's okay being able to ask about, you know, what are the things that hold you back and what's sabotaging you. But if you don't know how to then deal with those so that the client can move on, you can actually do quite a bit of damage.
Yes, well, absolutely. And I think that's also great protection for both the client and the coach, that the coach knows their own boundaries and their code of ethics, and they don't step over that, because, you know, we're not psychotherapists and we're not counsellors, and it's really important to know what the guidelines are.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so if we move on to some of the value-added benefits, so this is your return on investment. Obviously, the biggest thing is you become accredited, which helps you stand out in a very crowded market and helps your potential clients, identify you as best in class, or as I like to call them, Caroline, the 1% club, because, you know, putting yourself through the challenging, vigorous process of being accredited isn't for everybody. So the ones that do it are really committed. Yes. The benefits, I think we can easily split into two key areas. One is CPD, that's continuous professional development, that's to do with your personal growth. And then there's the business acumen, because as you know, Caroline, when you attended a call with us about 18 months ago, we recognized there was a gap in the market, and I know you've worked hard to address this as well, that students are coming out of their coach training academies, perhaps with distinctions as great coaches, but they lack the business acumen to actually turn what could become a very expensive hobby into a thriving business, the business that they've dreamed of having. So we've developed a program, a complimentary self-teach 12 modular business program that takes you through all the aspects. We've invited expert guest speakers to talk you through that, to try and help plug that gap, and that's complimentary. So not only are we helping you build your CPD knowledge and skills and capabilities around becoming an even better coach and supporting you on that journey from practitioner to senior to master and hopefully eventually fellow, but we're also there helping you grow your business and giving you the business acumen, which gives you the confidence to actually fulfill your dreams and create that business. So those are the two key things. And how do we do that? Well, we've put together a benefits leaflet, which is in the middle, and you can download that from the website. Obviously, that's an evolving package. And we have a weekly bulletin. So, for instance, Caroline did a fabulous talk for us a couple of weeks ago. It's probably one of the most popular talks that we've had. Still 2 weeks later, I'm getting emails saying, can I have a copy of the recording? It's produced quite a lot of questions for us, hasn't it, Caroline?
Yes, it has.
So you'll get notification like that on a weekly basis, and it's then up to you to take responsibility to grow your business and build that trusting relationship with your clients.
It is. It's great that that you feel like you've got support. That you feel that the IAPC&M have got your back. They're looking after you. You can ask them questions. You're there as a great library of resources, as well as, and I know that you do help support coaches with seminars. They can promote their own businesses. It's almost like a huge library of tips, support, a platform for which you can share ideas and grow your business. And we might be brilliant coaches, as you say, but we're not necessarily brilliant marketeers, business people, brand specialists. But you can learn all of that, and that's all part of. And you will work with clients who need that sort of help too. So as you grow as a coach and a business person, you've got the great support there of a professional coaching and mentoring authority to help build credibility and to ensure that you maintain the highest professional standards.
And this leads right here, the action checklist for success. That's a 4 or 5 page PDF that all new practitioners receive, and it basically breaks down all the steps into well, this is what you do when you've just become accredited. This is how you create your social media profile. This is how you orientate yourself with the IAPC&M website secure members area, so that you can access and use all the resources in there. So when you're building your business, for instance, you might want to download a complaints procedure or a contract or an agreement or a press release template. All those things are already produced and in the library for you. So it's a really handy leaflet for you to work your way through, as I call waiting actively, while you're waiting for clients to beat down your door. But we've made as possible, as attractive and easy to follow as possible, and consider us as an extension of your PR dream team. We're there to support you.
Very good. And not know that you're alone, because there are lots of Facebook groups and support groups, but I think anyone in business does need some kind of mastermind group or professionals to help support them and take away the kind of isolation that working on your own can sometimes bring as well.
Exactly. So that brings us on to the accreditation process. And what I would like to kick off by saying is that actually, over time, Caroline, we've realized this is an experience. From the feedback that we're getting from people, it's like, wow, even people who didn't succeed at their first attempt, and I have to be honest, sort of 10% of people don't, perhaps because they were a bit laissez-faire about it, or they've developed some bad habits. There's all sorts of reasons. But even the ones who haven't passed first time round, we've worked with them with their CPD, and they've sent us emails saying that was an amazing experience. I got so much out of it. It's built my confidence. It's really focused me on the particular capabilities and so on. So even though there's a process, I think I'm realizing it's more about the experience that people get. Yes. So what's going to happen when your students want to apply for their accreditation process? They obviously go online and pay. It's totally automated. They will then receive an email detailing the evidence that's required, and there's a list, and it includes things like book your 30-minute live assessment call. So this is not a role play, it's not a recording. This is really about capability, demonstrating, because it doesn't matter. And this is, again, one of the differentiators, Caroline. Some people are really academic and they can write a great thesis, but it doesn't mean they can coach. So this 30-minute live assessment call is really super important. Even though you've already assessed them, we need to assess everybody, because we need to compare apples with apples rather than apples with oranges. So everybody goes through that, and then afterwards they complete a very brief self-reflection. Just, what worked well, what would they do differently now the pressure's off, what have they learned from that? They'll sign the code of conduct, they'll fill out the standards and ethics questionnaire, and then once they've successfully completed that, they will receive their certificate and their logo for promotional reasons. And accreditation is valid for 3 years, providing they maintain their annual renewal fee. Now, it's valid for 3 years because we believe in standards and protecting the public. So whether it's a course like yours, Caroline, or an individual, we all go through reassessment every 3 years to make sure that nobody has developed any bad habits, that what we originally accredited is still being delivered.
And I remember just how strict those questions are, and if anyone thought it was easy for me to get accreditation for the Your Coaching Academy, it wasn't. The exams I did were over 2 hours, and we really are very strict and stringent on the criteria. But I felt, well, I've really been through it, but I'm glad I have, because it shows that, you know, that you're committed to excellence, and you're there to raise the levels of coaching excellence as well. So yeah, be prepared to be put through it, but Dawn is very gentle as well, and you'll feel so great when you get through the criteria and feel that you've passed, and well worth adding to your website that you have that accreditation.
Exactly. Confidence. And it's an organisation you can feel proud to be part of, because everybody goes through the same process. So that's why I call it the 1% Club.
I like it. Yeah, it's great.
So this is a popular question I'm asked: when can I apply? We've decided that students can apply at any stage for their accreditation. Now, the reason why we did that was because we recognised that there are some students who come to courses like yours, Caroline, with a wealth of experience already, but they just don't have the formal background. So perhaps somebody like myself, I was coaching for years as a sales director without even really realising I was a coach. I wasn't qualified as a coach. But when I discovered coaching, I thought, that's what I've been doing with my sales team. And then I went on courses to become certified. So you have people like that, and you also have people who are new to coaching, but they know that this is for them and they want to develop a business. So they can apply immediately for accreditation, and they can access the benefits like the CPD conference calls, the business building, the resources, so that they can study in parallel with setting up their business using all the material that we've got. They just won't become accredited until they've met the criteria. And some of those include completing your course, successfully achieving their certificate, having a minimum of 60 practical coaching hours, and that can be free, pro bono, study buddy. We recognise at that level it doesn't have to be paid coaching, and that they have passed their 30-minute assessment call. Only then can they call themselves accredited. Until that time, they're in waiting, so that they can have all the benefits of all the resources we've got. They are just not accredited until they've met that key criteria. Then they can go on the website, create their profile, and say to the world, I'm part of the IAPC&M, I'm accredited, you can hire me.
Perfect. So almost straight away, it's something worth accessing. So you're familiar with the coaching world and what is required. So almost straight away, you could start to sign up and have this as a resource.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, great.
And of course, we all know the famous Gandhi saying, the future depends on what you do today. I tend to think, you are today, whatever we were doing 5 years ago, and conversely, in 5 years' time, you're going to be whatever you're doing today. So if you're thinking about it, and maybe you're thinking, I'm not sure, not now, I want to do my studying, you're going to look back and think, I wish I'd done it later. So some key questions to ask yourself would be, what is the benefit of me not doing this versus the benefit of doing it? And if not now, when? Because it's really important, if you're going to be a professional practitioner, that you start being properly trained and building your business at the same time. And now is never a better time, than right now, not least because the fees go up in September, Caroline. So for any new practitioners, who don't prepay, they're going to miss the current price, which is £195. After the 16th of September, it's going to be £295.
Right.
So if you want to say, well, I'm on Carol Ann's autumn course, but can I prepay and take advantage of it now? The answer is yes, you can do that. And then you can start the process whenever you're ready.
Great. That's worth noting, and I'll put that out to the Facebook group for our graduates as well.
Great. So if there weren't any particular questions that you want to raise with us, I think I've done exactly what I said I was going to do, Carol Ann.
Thank you very much, Dawn. And I think you've made what seems a complex issue very straightforward, and you've given it great clarity. And hopefully that kind of sets the scene for potential coaches or people in training to know the importance of accreditation. And sooner or later it will be a requirement. And why not have it now and be one of the first, and know that you've got the belt braces and the authority you need to go out there as a professional coach. So thank you so much, Dawn. And obviously any questions, people can come to me and I can pass them on to you as well.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Carol Ann.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.